ball?
Well, I mean, the big thing is forming the identity of what the 2024 Illinois offense is going to look and feel like. And obviously, that didn't have a lot to do with schematics. I think everybody knows how we want to play and what we want to do. But just like who the pieces of the puzzle are, kind of what our strengths or weaknesses are within the scheme of what we're doing. We've made some, obviously, every offseason you step back and evaluate, where can I tweak, enhance, grow, get better, learn from. So we injected some things in our offense that I think have been good. So big takeaways for me is, like, I think we have a good feel of kind of where we're trending towards and what we're trending towards looking like and being like, and I'm excited about that.
How would you talk about Luke's progress? Like, what have you seen from him and Donovan as they get into another year of the system here?
Well, it's a great point. Like, going in Luke's second year, Donovan's really almost third year in the system, and I've been really pleased. And this isn't coach speak. I've been really pleased with the way that they have progressed. I think Luke has had a really good spring throwing the ball with accuracy, with timing, and has taken care of the ball really well. And same thing for Donovan. Donovan's really made a huge jump. I think that's it's obvious the way he's just taken a big jump, and he's kind of made that breakthrough, in my opinion, about from this time last year to now. You make the jump that you would want a guy to make, and he did it. And still got some things to go. The biggest thing with him, he just hadn't gotten his feet wet in the game yet. But as much as you can get ready to play, I think we feel good about that. Kirkland has had a really good spring as well. So those two guys have gotten the bulk of the reps, and then obviously we get most of the developmental reps to Trey Petty. But I've been really pleased with the quarterbacks in general.
Barry, when we talked before this spring, you talked about how big it was for the pass catchers. What have you seen from those guys through 15 or almost 15 practices?
Well, I think it's been kind of a different guy every day. Obviously I think Pat's the one proven commodity, and you say that, there's a certain level of, like, when you're Ashton Hollins and you catch a ball in the Penn State game and the Indiana game and crunch time, you're proven, right? To some degree. And same thing with Malik and Hank and Canary. You really take all those guys, and they've been in that stadium, they've been in the environments we've been in, they've made plays, and so that's exciting. And you take some other guys like Colin, who redshirted last year, who's had an excellent spring and consistency. Added, Rio. This is always dangerous when you start naming names. Kapka's had moments where he's flashed as well. We moved Tyson from defense to. He's got a great skill set as he learns what he's doing. But I've been pleased with that group overall, and I think Justin's done a nice job developing rapport with them and relationships, and catching on the offense, learning the offense, and putting his own spin on the teaching of that scheme.
Personnel-wise, just how are you different? How is the 24 offense different?
Well, I think, yeah, sure. Well, I mean, like, I feel, I feel good about where we're at with the O-line depth and what we brought in. I think that's been obvious, like, to us as a team, like we got more depth there, more quality depth, and I think that's any offense that starts up front. And I thought last year. The last half of the year, we really leveled off and pieced together some good games up front. And obviously, it's no secret that early on, just as an offense, starting with me, we weren't great early during the season. And so I think that I'm hopeful that with the development that basically like our ceiling last year is the floor for this year. And that's a goal. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but that's a goal that we can pick up where we left off and move forward there. So I've been pleased with the progression there up front. But I think all the new faces that we brought in are going to add some element of help to us offensively.
What's important in making maybe last year's ceiling this year's floor? Are there things you can have done through spring to sort of facilitate that?
Well, I think, obviously schematically, familiarity, doing a lot of the same things we did last year, playing our player strengths. And I think we all have to use the fuel of the disappointment of the first half of the year and I'm not saying in the back half of the year that we lit it up either, that we were perfect. We had a lot of things that we could have done better down the last half of the year, but I think if we don't use that fuel last year of the failures up front and not up front, failures on offense, right, the shortcomings of the offense, if we don't use that as fuel, then we may go through something similar again, and I don't think our kids want to do that. No, we don't. Our players don't want to do that. Our coaching staff doesn't want to do that. So I think the key is to use that and to say, listen, all right, this is what that looked like, as a coach, as a player, and then the last half when we played like this is what that felt like, and using that, it's kind of a vague answer, but like we have to be able to use that experience, good and bad. You always learn from experience, the failures and successes to propel us forward in 24.
We talked to Zai yesterday, and he talked about the adversity he faced early on, and obviously there's a position switch. How have you seen that maybe shape him or fuel him into really the back end of last season and then into spring?
Well, we all know that adversity is part of this game. I mean, it just is, and it's part of life, as we know too. And so it's kind of to the point. Is like we kind of went through some adversity as a team, especially offensively, and he's kind of a microcosm of that for us a little bit. I thought Zai kind of emerged out of that, and has had by far the best spring that he's had since he's been here. And, of course, he was limited in one of the years in the spring. But I really liked where Zai's playing. Man, he's so passionate and he cares so much. That's important, and he takes a great pride in his work. And it's been noticeable that his improvement at the guard spot.
Coach, what have you seen from Aiden at this point?
Yeah, Aiden. What I've seen from Aiden is I've seen speed. Well, I've seen speed, and not just a guy that's fast, but a guy that will hit him between the tackles, a guy that takes a great deal of pride in his work and how he approaches daily, all of his assignments, run, protection, pass, really, really, really taken off as a player. And, excited about his growth, and the other guys in the running back room as well. He's taking advantage of his opportunity with us being limited in some areas there, and been really pleased with Aiden and his progress.
Said you wanted to challenge Luke to be a little bit more assertive, whether it's seeing it, throwing it, vocal leader. How have you seen him kind of answer that?
Yeah, assertive and decisive, and I think he's been much more decisive. And listen, I think he's gotten more confidence in what he's doing and how he's doing it, and so that always makes you a little bit naturally more assertive. And from a personality standpoint, he's not that guy that's going to go around yelling and screaming at people. And the best way to lead is to do your job, right, and to do it well. That's the best way to lead, and I think he's doing that right now. And very relational with the team, and that's a good thing. And always, like in any of that stuff, it's always a work in progress. But I've seen growth there for him.
What are you hoping to see on Saturday, and how are you approaching that?
Well, we're hoping to see a clean exhibition of football, right? Clean version, meaning let's take care of the ball. Let's get lined up right. Let's get in the formation the right way. Let's play with detail. Play with fundamentals, and obviously at this point in time there's no secrets between us offensively and defensively after all these years, so it's not like we're trying to trick anybody or fool anybody. We're going to run some base looks, and let's go out and execute in the very cleanest base way that we can.
Is that useful for you to lay down some film, like some game film?
Yeah, where it's useful is it gives guys a game day experience, in particular the younger guys that haven't experienced that before, so it gives them another opportunity to go through a pregame warm-up and a feel of like game day, like in their preparation, right? And then, and it's always good to go out there and play football, right? You get better at football by playing football. And so it's another opportunity for us on both sides of the ball to go play football and to evaluate guys off of that.
It doesn't seem like that long ago where after Saturday you weren't able to touch these guys for like 2.5 months. The rules have changed now where you can see them, you can go through film with them and all. So what translates from spring to when you pick it up again in August nowadays?
Well, obviously we'd hope there's a bunch of carryover. Though we've got a team that takes a great deal of pride of overtime and working on their own and development. And then, as we get back in June, when they get back in school, there's another window there for us to be able to inject some small time frames there to keep them polished on football. But really, it's the best football teams are always led by the players, and the opportunity this summer there for them to lead and work themselves and to know how to work and to know our expectations is certainly something that going on year 3 of this offense, year 4 of Coach B, that our players understand. And so there's a tremendous window of growth opportunity there for in June and July, even before we get them in August, and we plan to take full advantage of that.
Barry, what have you seen from the tight end room and life after tip?
Yeah, life after tip. That's I think our guys have done a nice job. I mean, it's, all those guys, that room in particular, typically, historically, comes in all different shapes and sizes and all different roles and responsibilities. And I think you see that in our room right now. And so I feel good about where we're at. I think Tanner's really had a good solid spring. Obviously, I think Cole's been a nice addition. Griffin is he's on his last year as a veteran player, and as you would expect, is playing the best that he's played since he's been here. It's a good thing, Boyer's been a little limited, for us, and then the younger guys have had their moments, in regards to their catching a pass or making a block, and so that's been something that I've been really encouraged about overall on a daily basis.
How important is Aiden's emergence with all the other backs you have? It gives you a different element.
Yeah, he certainly brings a different running style, and I think that's a good thing for us offensively, is to have, obviously we got big physical backs that it's a good thing, and then to have a little bit of, I'm not saying the other guys don't have speed. I mean, you watch Caden against Minnesota in the open field. I mean, that's pretty good speed for that size, and I know Josh has had his moments where he's broken open in the field as well. But Aiden's, one thing that showed up to me is like he's unlocking. He's at the point in his career now where I think he's playing fast enough. The other things are coming more natural to him. That his natural abilities are being unlocked on a daily basis, and that natural skill set he has is very unique. And when it comes to the speed.
Barry, is it fair to suggest that, 1 year ago today, you're more confident today about running the football than you were maybe a year ago, and where you saw that?
Yeah, I don't think I lack confidence in that regard, at this time last year, but I do feel good about the emphasis that we put on that, and it starts with me, the expectation, the mentality. We've made that very clear this spring, and our guys have responded to that in a great way, and so I am excited about that. That vision has been very, very clearly cast, and it's been very well received by our guys, especially our guys up front. And listen, our football team's going to be better if we run the ball, right? Doesn't mean we're going to be stubborn about it. That doesn't mean we have to be a balanced offense. We have to be able to run the ball, though, when people know we're going to run it. That's how you close out games in the fourth quarter. And you got to be able to throw the ball when people know you're going to throw it. So you'll win the game in a 2-minute setting, or make plays on third down. And that's when you've got a good offense. When you can run it when they know you're going to run it, and you can throw it when they know you're going to throw it. That's what you have to be able to do to be a championship level offense. But it starts with us and the physicality and the mindset, the commitment, and the play calling to us to be able to run the ball effectively, because everything starts from there.
What have you learned about Trey Petty in his first spring, getting adjusted here?
Yeah, I think he's done a really nice job. I think he really has. He just progressively has just gotten better and better and better and better, and that sounds like such coach speak. I know that bores you guys to death, and ladies, I'm sorry, that would, when you talk coach speak, but I don't know what else to say. It's just he's taking steps every day, and he loves to play. That's one thing that sticks out to me, is he loves to play. And the more 11 on 11 it gets, the more he comes alive. And really excited about his future. Got a long ways to go, to learn. But I tell you what, he's done a great job of being intentional about learning. Like, he's been a sponge. Like, he's always asking for more time and more film and more meetings. And he's kind of a gym rat when it comes to that. I don't know what you call it in football rat, or I don't know, field rat. I don't know. But he's a football version of a gym rat.
Gotcha.